method. So, alam nyo ba na yung future worth method natin is the same, almost the same as present worth. It's just that instead of us using yung ating present worth, so di ba, we always try to bring yung ating mga money to the present time. So, instead of using that, we actually use future. So, instead of bringing this back to the present, so we use future. So, pabalik-balik lang tayo sa future. And we have the same rule. If the future worth is greater than 0, that is using the MARR given, the project is, or the business is economically justified. So, lagi naman ganon, same lang din as present worth. And mind you, if your present worth is actually positive, your future worth should be positive as well as your annual worth. So, ang ano lang dito, idea lang natin is we can use any method na available. But you have to expect na you will be arriving at the same justification na if it's justifiable for the present worth, then it should be justifiable for the future worth as well. So, hindi sila pwedeng maging contradicting. Kasi if that's the case, then most probably you have, you could have calculated it wrong, incorrectly, or parang siguro nagkaroon kayo ng problema along the way and then medyo namali lang kayo ng type. But remember, it has to be said na yung ating future worth, present worth, annual worth, and even AR and IRs, they should be conforming with all the idea na kapag okay naman yung isa, everything will just be justifiable. Okay, and then let's probably try to solve for this number 1. Well, actually, itong number 1 is the same pala nga. Yun nga, we'll be using the same problem kasi sabi natin na, sinabi ko before kasi na if it's okay with present worth, that should also be okay sa future worth. So, we have to go back to this problem and then we'll be using your future worth. So, mamaya, paulit-ulit na yan natin ang gagamitin. I think it's also the same problem for annual worth. So, ganun lang naman siya. Okay, so we'll be using future worth in this case. Okay, so now for our future worth, we can solve for this by, yun nga, yung cash flow diagram, medyo familiar na naman kayo doon. So, hindi na ako maggagawa ng, ng ating cash flow diagram. But then again, we have to remember yung kanina, diba? We have P sub I in this case, which is 25,000. And we have to bring this to the future. So, that means na yung ating investment na 25,000, or yung cost of investment natin, na probably money natin yan, diba? You have to bring this to the future. So, that is, technically, that's nandito sa future worth, di na ako sige, magagawa din na lang ako cash flow diagram para at least gets nyo. Pero yun nga, yung 25,000 natin would be here, and then we have to bring this all to the future. For comparison lang naman, no? But then again, yung ating mga revenues would be around here. Ilan ba itong period? So, again, this is actually 5-year period. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have to bring this to the future. Okay? Actually, ito na yung, hanggang dito pala yan, no? Future. Hanggang dyan lang yan. Okay? And then, okay, ito yan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, meron pa isa tayo, which is yung salvage values. That's here, around here. Okay? So, ganyan yung maging cash flow natin. And then, let's start muna dun sa ating mga revenues. So, we have F that is equal to your annuity. So, that's 8,000. Pero remember, we'll be using our future worth factor. So, that is 1 plus yung ating MAR, that's 0.20 raised to, ilan ba yung periods, that's 5, and then minus 1 raised to, or all over 0.2. Okay, so that's it for our this annuity natin. And then we add, so i-add natin ngayon yung salvage value. And remember, hindi natin kailangan dalhin yung salvage value, or wala tayong kailangan i-multiply sa salvage value natin kasi nga, that is already at the future. So this is your future worth, and this amounts to this amounts to $64,532.8. Now, how do we solve for FW? So, FW, ang kailangan lang natin gawin is we have to determine yung ating F minus Fi. And our Fi would be, of course, kailangan natin dalhin itong 25,000 to the future, diba? So, with this, Fi would be equal to 25,000 times 1 plus 0.2 raised to positive 5. Diba? Ganyan lang naman siya, simplest. So, ano bang magiging sagot dyan? So, Fi would be equal to $62,208. Okay, so from this, we have 64,532.8 minus 62,208. So, therefore, our FW will give us a value of $2,324.8, okay, dollars. So therefore, based on our future worth analysis, it is also still justifiable kasi FW is greater than 0. That's 2,000. So in the future worth method, we were able to prove na even if you use future worth, you can still obtain the same justification for this business or this particular equipment, diba? And let's go back to that person para ma-check lang kung tama. So we have where's that? Okay, so that's it for our 2324.8, and that is justified. The project is justified. So ganun lang siya kasimple, no? And remember, basta it depends on the problem kung ano yung gagamitin nyo, basta kung ano sinabi. Pero what if walang sinabi? So you just have to make sure na you incorporate kung ano yung gagamitin nyo. Sasabihin nyo lang kung ano siyang method. Kasi yun lang naman yun eh. Just tell the problem. And I just want to show you something, no? Knowing na ito yung ating present worth na parang parang ganun na nga, profit, kasi we have already subtracted yung ating investment cost. So you could just bring this to the future in a way na you'll be using compound amount factor. So that's, diba, 934, and knowing na it's around here, diba, present siya. So you could just bring this to the future, and you should be able to obtain this answer. So that's 0.2 raised to 5, and this will give you this 2,324.8 as well. So that's the same concept of, even if you don't try to do this and then you try to do the other method or the easiest one, then you should be able to get this. Now, that's the easiest way to check, diba? Kasi kung halimbawa, meron ka na nito and then you did that compound amount factor using the basic concept natin na pwede natin siyang dalhin doon, and then nakuha mo to, but then again, from this expression, di mo siya nakuha. So, you should have meron siguro nagkamali ka along the way. And that's one of the best method na you can check your answer, no? But I still prefer yun nga, yung solution natin using this method. Kasi syempre, kasi yan eh, parang pag ginamit mo yung point na ito and then you just bring this to the future. Ang point kasi is parang you're quite sure na that's the correct answer, but that's not supposed to be the case. So you still have to solve using this, and then you have to check using the compound factor, given that you already have the present worth. So ganun siya ginagawa talaga. Okay, and I think we have the second problem wherein we'll be using the example 3 yan. So ang pinakaiba dito is that, ano bang pinakaiba? So same lang din, 110,000, 30,000 per year yung nasa save natin, 8,000 yung ating 6-year study period salvage value. So if FW will be used, so wala tayong wala pa tayong zero market value pala, tapos itong 30,000 nasa save niya per year in electrical power and be worth 8,000 at the end of the 6-year period. Ano daw? Ulit. An example 3 for PW, the 100,000 retrofitted. Gets ko na. Ulit. So ngayon gagawin natin is that natanggalin natin yung market value na 8,000. So wala tayong market value for this, and then yung MAR natin would be 15% per year. So ganun pala yung yung idea, no? So let's try solving for it, diba? And I'll go back to your to the previous problem para lang mas ma-compare natin. We'll just have to remember na yung ating system, ito yun the system has zero market value after 6 years. So that's very important, no? Kasi baka hindi natin siya ma-consider later on. But do we really have to go back there? Kasi parang nandito naman na lahat ng given. Okay, kasi na yun 30,000 na yung atin. So, ito na nga yun. Pwede na pala hindi na bumalik doon. So, with this, yung ating F would be equal to, let's say, 30,000, parang annual, revenue natin, diba? So, that is multiplied by 1 plus 0.15 raised to, ano ba yung study period na that? 6 years, and then minus 1 raised all over 0.15. Okay, then we add yung ating, actually, wala na tayong i-add kasi 0 yung ating market value. So, this would be equal to this is equal to 262,612.1531. Okay? And then, what happens next? So, we have to determine yung ating FI. Medyo mainit na ngayon. Tanghali na kasi. And for our F sub I is equal to, diba, that is 110. Now, for our FI, we have 110,000. And then we have to bring this to the future. That's 1 plus 0.15 raised to 6. And this gives us a value of 254,000. And then we have 436.6842. Now, subtracting this F minus Fi, we have our FW. So that is equal to 8175. So we have already obtained the correct answer. So 4689. Okay, so this is your answer. Now, can we actually do the same thing from number 1 na dadalhin natin yung present worth to the future? So the answer is no. Kasi we have to remember na yung case kasi natin ngayon is the system has zero market value after 6 years. So had there been a value for the salvage value or the market value, it's still positive in this case. So even if it's not even if it's 0, so still we were able to obtain a positive value FW, and that's a very good indication that the system is actually justifiable. So pwede natin siyang i-install talaga, no? So yun for this case. So hindi natin siya pwedeng i-check using the previous answer kasi again, we don't have any market value here. So kung meron at same market value na 8,000, then we can always try to check that and we should be able to obtain the same results. Okay, so that's it for our number 2. And I think that's all pala for future word, diba? Napakasimple lang naman ng atin. Actually, meron lang tayong 11 pages for now, and then we're already at the 5th page. Kaya sabi ko nga kanina, hindi ko pala sure kung sinabi ko, wala talaga kayong masyadong maraming formulang aaralin dito. Yun siguro, probably yung BC ratio lang, pero not really that difficult naman. As well as siguro payback period, pero sobrang basic lang din nila. So, madali lang itong midterm natin, no? Then siguro I'll try to discuss muna itong annual worth.